All right, so here comes the part where I introduce the guest. So I guess I will say you are a author, film curator, host, personality. How's that all sound?
It sounds okay. I don't, most of what I do is movie oriented. So
And
we're actually in the
Yeah.
4th season of The Last Drive-In. It kind of got out of control.
yeah, and like you said on the last interview, you said it's going to be like the same show as Monster Vision, just with a different name. I think it's even better than Monster Vision because it's HD. It just seems like you have a lot more freedom with it. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, and what happened is the audience got smarter because when I did Monster Vision, there was no internet. And so now, if you say, I'm sure you know this, if you say something wrong on a show, you know it 5 seconds later. 20,000 people tell you about it, just how wrong you were and why you're wrong. Yeah. Brontosauruses had big dicks.
Wow.
Like
You know what that kind of reminds me of is they said King Kong had two dicks.
yeah, I mean, if it's interesting and remotely believable, it'll get repeated over and over and over and over again until it's true.
Ran out of time.
Yeah.
But the fans are relentless. And they're relentless and unforgiving.
People really are digging the show, right?
Yeah, we sort of discovered, people want to be at these live events for, they want to meet us, but they also want to meet each other. And so they go to the live event partly to just mingle with live bodies instead of just online presences.
It was nice, yeah, because it's been a long time, and it was like, oh wow, we're here with people, and it's cool.
As you pointed out, I've done the same show 3 times, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
It was also my introduction to a lot of those movies. Tammy and the T-Rex.
Yeah,
That movie was crazy. 'Cause I,
I love Tammy and the T-Rex.
yeah.
The guy who produced it had never worked in film before. He decided at the last minute he wanted to make it a PG movie, and they released it. It was not a hit. Now it has a whole new audience. Denise Richards is wonderful in it. I think it's one of the best things she ever did.
The plot for anyone who hasn't seen it, like this guy's brain gets put into the T-Rex, but then
She remains in love with him, even though he's now a T-Rex.
yeah, and like
Actually, we found the T-Rex. It was missing for many years, and we found it. Ripley's had it at one of its museums in Texas.
really,
But it's a famous animatronic dinosaur who was in love with Denise Richards. So.
yeah, wow. So it's lasted longer than the T-Rex in Jurassic Park because that thing I think was just cannibalized after the film. I guess,
Really,
but
boy, they don't understand.
yeah,
They don't understand how much money they can get for stuff like that.
yeah. That was a weird movie.
Yeah, that's one of those love it or hate it movies where half the audience says
Never show anything like that again.
and the other half says I've watched it 30 times.
Oh, like Cannibal Holocaust. That's one that you watch once, or I guess you're somebody who watches it over and over.
Yeah, I mean,
For me, it was over and over. Yeah.
when the Italians, stupid European people throughout the 70s were making these cannibal films. And, usually it's like go into the jungle thinking they're going to investigate the cannibals and they become dinner, all made in Italy. And the Italians are not sentimental about animals. Kill some turtles and graphically show how they kill them with the machetes and whatever. And so obviously now, almost 50 years later, we have all kinds of laws and rules and regulations that you don't harm animals in the slightest when you make a movie. And yet this movie exists. And so a lot of people believe you shouldn't show that movie at all. It should be destroyed. You should never again be able to watch it. And then other people say, well, it exists. We're not going to kill any more animals. No animal is going to suffer just because we watch the movie. It's a legitimate subgenre of the 70s and everything. So this debate goes on, and nobody wants to tangle with animal rights people. Nobody. We bent over backwards to warn people, but there were so many people who said,
I will not be watching your show then. I will not be watching that. Promoting Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, this is one you don't want to watch when you're eating.
they do this thing, cover their mouth and turn their head away.
Oh,
But yeah.
Yeah.
I am legend.
We are Satanist rockers. Everything she says is correct.
We are agents of Satan.
They make it like, oh, this is evil. This is, you know,
Neo-pagans or
like there's the metal bands that like go around like burning churches down, stuff like that. Like that exists, and that's scary shit. But
we want to bring back Walpurgisnacht, which is only practiced in Europe.
oh yeah, it's like
That's
April 30th.
The
The other Halloween.
It's the
yeah.
other Halloween, and
Yeah.
it's a big deal in Europe, and it's a cool holiday because it's all about sex and alcohol and fire. And witches. It's like you go up on the mountain and you burn up the witches, And we don't really do it over here, but they really do it in Europe.
Still.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it has this weird name, so that's why it never crossed the ocean.
the world of darkness and the world of light are close together, so people can pass over from the land of the dead to the land of the living.
And so you want to be careful that night because the sprites and fairies and elves are out there, and they're going to take advantage of you, and especially the witches, because the witches are up on the mountain having sex with Satan. If you see any witches, we're going to burn them up, and so it's a really cool holiday.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of alcohol associated with it. Yeah. How many Draculas are there?
Oh, so many now. I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dead, which started the whole zombie craze, was really a ripoff of the Matheson novel, I Am Legend. There's so many people that have come up to me at conventions and other places where I've performed and say, I didn't know who you were. And then I was watching James Rolfe on and he was talking about you, and so I checked out your show. So you had a big impact on the first year of the last drive-in, especially with much younger guys who weren't around for Monster Vision. So,
cool, nice.
Your influencer cred really helped me out when that show started. So
cool.
Thank you for that.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, it's very surreal. I think the first night, the debut, it crashed, right? Like
24-hour horror marathon, and the internet went crazy. And God damn it, I paid for this streaming service and it's not working. And where is the show? And isn't that great? Oh no, this is great. About 15 years ago, I took a role in this ultra low budget movie called Hogzilla about a giant killer hog. And y'all want to take some hog pictures? Well, ain't no hogs here.
Act like you've seen a monster.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what's vivid in my memory is the bad ones.
Oh yeah.
We had a movie called Super Beast.
Oh, I remember that one.
You remember Super Beast? You're the only person that remembers Super Beast. Made in the Philippines. I don't even think there was a beast. I don't think they ever found the beast. There's another one that's still on everybody's Too Grisly to Air list, and that's I Spit on Your Grave. The 1978 I Spit on Your Grave. Nobody will show it. It's a rape revenge movie. Mm-hmm. It was conceived as a feminist film, but the fans want 80s. It was kind of a Wild West atmosphere where you could make movies really cheap.
Oh, yeah.
We had this like 4 or 5 year period where everybody was making these erotic thrillers. And I guess we just exhausted what you can do with the erotic thriller because at some point it just stopped. That the reaction to Showgirls was so negative that they stopped funding the erotic thrillers. But who knows?
Yeah, I've always tended to not like whatever's popular at the moment, but then like it later. It kind of needs to pass and become retro, I guess.
Exactly. People are always looking for the hidden gem.
Hey guys, Metal Jesus here. Today I am back with more awesome hidden gems.
Mm-hmm. And they often ask me, are there any like forgotten gems that you want to show? And I'm like, in the age of internet indexing and IMDb, I'm not sure there are any truly forgotten gems. I mean, it's like, I don't think anybody else wants to sing that song. So, but yeah, Emil Griffith killed Benny Perrette in a match on a Gillette Friday Night Fight.
Oh my God, like that really like struck me. But now it's like nothing. It's like,
That's terrible. That's terrible. The death of Benny Perrette did not bother Gillette in the slightest, but they were bothered by this guy chatting up a girl on the street in the commercial. You know, that's not cool. It's not cool to chat up a girl on the street and say, this is the worst they can come up with that men do. You know, it's like, this is the worst example of male behavior they can come up with to say, that's not the best a man can get. The commercial is wild. And
well, anyway, you've definitely taught us a lot about the films, and like you've made us feel validated for liking these kind of films, because lots of people would see these films and just say that, you know, these are trash, or like, why are you watching them? These are a waste of time. But you know, you've shown that there's merit to these films, and
yeah, I get that a lot, especially when people grew up in a family where their parents hated them, or their school didn't like them, and so they started to doubt themselves. And a lot of people have told me that that's why so many quote misfits sort of band together in the horror and exploitation film world, because it was, you know, it was a joint passion that they had in a world that despised their passion, you know. And I love that. A day doesn't go by that I don't get some kind of, you know, letter, email, message saying I was a shut-in kid and you were my friend. You know, so, and you can't take credit for it, but it does make you want to like make the show good when you do it, because you don't know who's like really needs to watch it.
yeah. Well, Joe Bob Briggs, check him out on The Last Drive-In on Shudder.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Go. Yeah, smile in my photos and post it. I'm just a poser who's pretending that he still got emotions. What a loser. Even when winning, no one else is rooting, but it don't matter.
I mean, we watch the movie and we talk about the movie. That's what we do.
Uh-huh.